My name is Alex, and I killed my wife.
Wow. That's quite a way to start. A statement that just hangs there.
It really does. It grabs you immediately.
Yeah, but this isn't, your typical crime story. This deep dive, it goes into something really heartbreaking.
Yeah.
A whole sequence of events. It's a story where love gets completely twisted, promises shatter, and the fallout. Well, it's just devastating.
Absolutely. And we're drawing this from Alex's own account, which adds another layer entirely.
Exactly. We've spent time with his story, and we want to take you through it, really unpack the weight behind those opening words, even if you've never heard this story before. So, where do we even begin with something this heavy?
Well, that opening statement itself is fascinating, isn't it? Because literally speaking, it's not true. He didn't pull the trigger.
Right.
But it speaks volumes about the guilt he carries. It forces you to think about how one person's actions, their choices, can absolutely destroy another person's life, even indirectly.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
So to get how we arrived there, we have to go back 8 years back.
Okay. Alex was in a pretty bad place. His mother had just passed away. He was vulnerable. And that's when he meets Claire at work, actually.
Right.
And he describes her so vividly. He says, she was strong, the kind of strong I had never been.
So he's drawn to her strength when he feels weak.
Exactly. And I fell in love quickly, foolishly, deeply. That's how he puts it.
It sounds like he really needed that connection then.
It does. And their relationship, he says, it wasn't like some fiery passion, but it was deep. He felt like he found solid ground with her, like something secure.
Stability. Which makes sense, given what he just been through.
Totally. And the stability, it showed up in these small, everyday things. He talks about Claire leaving him little notes.
Oh yeah, like what?
Just simple things, like your umbrella's in the hallway, or don't forget lunch. He actually says, and in those tiny messages, there was more love than in 1,000 romantic speeches.
Wow, that's quite poignant. Just the depth of their quiet connection.
There. It really does. They built a life on that, got married. He says, we held on. I thought we were forever. It makes you think about how love shows up, Not always in grand gestures.
Definitely. But even those solid foundations can start to crack, can't they?
Yeah, that's what happened. Alex started noticing Claire changing. Slowly at first.
How so?
She was coming home late more often, sometimes crying. Said she felt tired, overwhelmed by the world's pain. He tried to help, but he felt her pulling away.
Withdrawing. That's tough to watch in someone you love.
It is. He describes her face becoming distant, and then came the moment he knew it was truly over, that forever was gone.
What happened?
Claire just said it plain and simple. Alex, I don't feel anything anymore.
Just like that.
Just like that. He really emphasizes it wasn't an accusation, it was a sentence, like final, done.
So that must have been absolutely crushing. A total emotional disconnect.
Yeah, and that feeling, that void, it kind of left him, vulnerable again, maybe looking for something else.
Which opens the door, doesn't it? Morally complex territory.
And that's when Melissa enters the picture. Now, Alex is clear, he didn't cheat immediately. He says he fought it for a year, maybe more.
Right.
But Melissa, she was an intern at his work, and she was everything he felt Claire wasn't anymore. Young, vibrant, he says, laughing at my jokes, looking at me with admiration.
The contrast. He felt seen again, maybe?
Seems like it. Their connection started, innocently enough, he claims. After a long day at work, drinks, talking.
The classic setup.
Pretty much. And then his words, we kissed. Then everything blurred. It's that slippery slope, isn't it? Seeking comfort and ending up somewhere dangerous.
It really is. And Melissa, she seemed to be looking for a real future, right? Talking about a life together.
Yeah, she was. Dreams of a place of our own, trips out of town. It's just tragic when you think about it, because her future was being built on his lies.
Well, Alex is living this double life.
Completely. Husband by day, lover by night. He even noticed Claire spending more time away at her mom's place, and he just assumed.
Assumed what?
He assumed she knew, but chose silence, which is a massive leap.
Wow. That's, avoidance on his part, maybe?
He admits the guilt was awful. It ate at me, he says. But it didn't stop him.
How did he justify it to himself?
He started telling himself he deserved happiness, that love was more than legal vows, rationalizing.
Rewriting the rules in his own head, it's a common pattern, but it doesn't make the betrayal any less deep.
Not at all. And then things escalate. Big time. Melissa tells him she's pregnant.
Where did this happen?
In a cafe. He remembers it so clearly, his reaction, just chaos inside. I didn't know whether to feel joy or dread. Total turmoil.
But Melissa saw it differently.
Yeah, for her it was simple. She said, Alex, this is a sign we need to be together.
And what did he say?
He just agreed,
Mm-hmm.
numbly. But inside, his mind was racing. How do I tell her, meaning Claire? What will she do?
So they came up with a plan.
A plan, his word for it. Stupid, like from a bad soap opera. He wrote Claire a letter. He was just going to leave her. Thought it was the only way out.
A letter. Not exactly facing the music.
No, avoidance again. He never, ever thought she'd come home early that day.
So he took Melissa back to the house, his house with Claire.
Yes. He was making pasta, trying to act normal, I guess. And Melissa, she was just dancing barefoot in the kitchen, laughing, completely oblivious.
It's unsettling.
It gets worse. She actually put on Claire's robe and joked, guess I'm the lady of the house now.
Oh no, that's just chilling, knowing what's coming. The carelessness.
Exactly. Just this carefree moment right before everything explodes. And the front door slammed. Alex says Claire never slammed the door. She was always quiet, so the sound itself was violent. Boom, footsteps, silence.
Go do.
He stepped into the hallway, froze. Claire was standing there, black coat, holding his gym bag.
The Jew bag.
He knew instantly. The gun was inside her face, blank. Her eyes, empty. He just managed to choke out, Claire.
Just pure dread in that moment.
Shh.
The silence must have been deafening.
She didn't say anything, just walked past him into the room where Melissa was.
And then the shots.
3 shots, muffled, like punches to the chest. Melissa just collapsed, silently. No scream, just a thud.
Yeah.
Claire put the gun down on the table, and then she looked at Alex and said it. You're free now, Alex.
Those words. The irony is just horrific. Free. Free from what?
Exactly, free from his marriage, his lies. It's a freedom soaked in blood.
What did Claire do then?
She just sat down, calmly, and waited for the police to arrive.
And Alex.
Complete meltdown. He cried, screamed, begged her. But he said Claire just stared at him, totally detached, as if I no longer existed.
The break was absolute.
No.
Final.
The aftermath was quick. The trial, Claire offered zero defense, didn't contact him once.
Did he try to see her? Talk to her?
He went to every hearing, desperate for some reaction, anything. Got nothing. Just once, as guards led her past, she whispered, "You're not part of me anymore."
Just cut him off completely. The damage was done.
Yeah.
Irreparable.
Totally. So Alex is left with the wreckage, had to sell the house. Claire's mother, furious with him, obviously. Colleagues cold. He wasn't even allowed at Melissa's funeral.
That's brutal isolation.
And Claire's mother asked him this question that just haunts him. Why didn't you just leave? Why didn't you save her before she became a killer?
Question he can't answer.
He admits it. No answer. Now he lives alone. Small apartment, works remotely. Just haunted by Claire's words. You're free now, Alex.
That must echo constantly.
He says, and I'd give anything to be on free again. To find a note, your umbrella is in the hallway. Just longing for that simple path.
The life he destroyed.
And then another blow. He found out later from a news article about the trial, Melissa was pregnant with twins.
Oh my God. Twins.
Yeah. No one knew. The autopsy revealed it. The weight of that. Destroying not just one future life, but 2, it's almost unimaginable.
It just multiplies the tragedy beyond comprehension. His freedom looks pretty empty now.
Completely empty. He's just left with the guilt, the memories. But he says he's trying, sort of. Journaling, rereading Claire's old notes. He dreams sometimes that she forgives him.
Holding on to a sliver of hope, maybe.
Maybe. He ends his account saying, until then, I keep walking, step by step, with this silence, this memory, and the hope that even in a shattered man, something real can remain.
It's such a heavy story. When you look at the characters, Alex starts off seeking stability, right? But his weakness, his choices, they lead to such destruction. He becomes this figure consumed by regret.
Yeah, a real descent. And Claire, she starts as the strong, stable presence. But the betrayal wounds her so deeply. Her reaction is extreme, violent, and then she just detaches. It makes you wonder about the breaking point, you know?
Absolutely. And the motivations behind that chilling finality. And then there's Melissa, young, hopeful, just tragically caught in the middle of Alex's deception. Her life and the lives of her babies just snuffed out. It's incredibly cruel.
It really is. This whole story just leaves you thinking. We wanted to pose a few questions, maybe for you listening to consider.
First, looking back, where do you think Alex missed a crucial chance? Was there a point where a different choice could have genuinely changed everything and avoided this tragedy?
That's a tough one. And second, thinking about Claire's actions, obviously extreme, legally wrong, but given the absolute depth of the betrayal, the shock, Can her response be seen as understandable on a purely human, emotional level, even if not justifiable?
Yeah, how do we process that kind of pain? And finally, Alex is living with this immense guilt and isolation now. Is that suffering in itself a sufficient consequence for what he did? Or does true justice require something more?
Heavy questions. No easy answers there.
Definitely not. Lots to think about. If this story moved you, don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube.